I can't understand what you want from me. You took my soul, and I'm quite a kind. Major places, major wins, I love. Who am I if I can't trust? Quite a kind, no one like us. The story never ends. The villain never lasts.
Like, rinse it off. Clean it before you... Because I understand you got to taste it, but still.
Yeah, dude, like, for real. Like, come on. And it'll always...
And they'd be like...
Yeah! Man. Or wiping their hands on their shirt and then doing stuff. I'm like... I didn't just see that. Like, especially at, like, McDonald's or Burger King. And I'm just like... Oh,
You need gloves.
how bad do I want this fast food? How bad do I want this?
All right, hello, listeners. You are listening to NPR Radio.
This podcast was brought to you by WNYC Studios.
Shout out to our sponsors.
I was for real thinking, like, I know regular podcasts do have a spot for sponsors, but, like, do I just make up some sponsors? Right. Or do we just...
But this is Nani, a podcast with your co-host James.
You're the co-host, Lewis.
Yep, this is just a show that we talk about anime
And how it pertains to our life and the lessons that we draw from it and other random stuff.
Yes. Get on it. Anime hot take. The One Piece is trash. That's not my opinion, of course.
No, because I don't even know if you could. James, I feel like you would start in bashing One Piece and like within 2 seconds it would be all good stuff. You're like, no, wait.
Mm-hmm. The only bad thing about the anime I can say is just how its pacing is garbage.
Oh, yeah.
But I'll take that over 100 episodes of filler.
Yeah.
And the story's not moving at all.
Yeah, I know. Well, now I'm kind of torn. I don't know which one I would prefer. I don't know. Because it is so frustrating, man. Yeah, I think I'll go with you, James. I just remember watching Naruto. Me and Imani would be watching Naruto. And especially during, like, the last full battle, you know.
Yes.
The you know, we're, like, waiting for all this exciting
the
stuff
Ninja
to
Alliance
happen.
War.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then we would go to an episode, like, wait, why is this flashback lasting so long? No, wait. This has nothing to do with... Oh, this is a filler. And so are the next 10 episodes. Oh, man, dude, it would be so frustrating.
I spent a full 3 months watching nothing but fillers, and I did not realize it until that 3rd month. I was just like, hold up. This story is not progressing at all.
Yeah.
And none of the episodes I've watched, because that was when I was week to week.
Yeah.
I caught up, so I was week to week at Shibuya, and I'm just like, all right, the next Naruto. I was so frustrated.
Where's the writers at? I want to punch somebody in the face right now. Right now. Where's the studio at? Y'all are wasting my time.
So mad.
I get it.
I was so upset that I never went back to Shippuden anime. I just watched the manga. I mean, I read the manga and never went back. But so when I would be seeing like some stuff, I was like, I don't remember seeing this, but I remember that happening. And then I was like, oh yeah, I never watched the anime. Yeah. I never seen the final fight in the anime.
Dang. Yeah. You know what? I did the same thing. Now that you mention it, I did the exact same thing. Because I remember when they animated Guy's fight, and I was like,
yeah.
Oh, that's what that looks like animated. Like, oh, okay. Because, yeah, I couldn't do it either, James.
No.
I couldn't do it, dude.
No. Yep. And that was my brother's opinion. He said One Piece is trash. I know he's just trolling because no one can say that seriously unless they never watched it. And they're just saying that solely based off of how popular it is, and it's so long that they don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
Invest that time. But it's so worth it. Because, you know, the gospel of One Piece. No.
I swear, if you put all of One Piece manga in a book, it would be like 3 feet longer. I don't know. That would be literally a Bible.
Yeah, it's thick.
Yeah.
This thick out here with two C's. Great. It's one of the greatest stories ever told. Another hot take. They said One Piece is better than the Bible. And I cannot agree with that. And I am right hard for One Piece, but the Bible, that's a little stretch.
Yeah.
Because a lot of stuff that's pulled in One Piece is based off of the Bible.
A lot of stories in life are based on, like, kind of biblical themes.
Yes.
Now I just want to see an Oda themed Bible. Oda, if you ever come across this, if you ever hear this, or anybody who knows Oda, tell him to make a manga of the Bible. That'd be dope.
Mm-hmm. Well, all his characters be in One Piece style and stuff.
I know you are the Bible character.
Shoot, because the greatest foreshadow is the Bible.
Like, how do you mean?
So one of them is Jesus coming and being sacrificed, his only son. So it was foreshadowed through Abraham sacrificing Isaac. Mm-hmm. But God told him to stop, and then there was a ram in the bush.
Yeah.
And that, like, all of the entire Old Testament was basically the telling of preparing for Jesus to get here.
Got you.
And all the New Testament, Jesus here done what he was supposed to do. Now getting us back into the accepting what he did and getting back into righteousness and covenant back with God.
Oh, okay.
But all those stories, like all those things, like you can find any life problem or issue, you can go back to the Bible and find an answer. Somebody went through it and there was an answer of how they got through it.
Yeah. I just saw, I'm sorry, this is the last little side story. I just saw on Instagram, somebody had made a Bible, but it was the Gen Z Bible.
I saw that. You did? I saw that. Hilarious.
I instantly was like, I gotta find this, dude. I just remember God was like, yeah, you passed the vibe check, so you can have the main character. I was like, shut up.
That was hilarious. It was like Gabrielle slid in my DM.
Yeah.
Like, that is wild. I was like, that's funny. Somebody in the comments said this is blasphemous. I was like,
yeah.
Obviously you don't really understand, or you're not in the undertones of the Bible at all, because that was perfect. And it's relatable to this generation. They can understand it. I remember at the high school reading the Bible and I would fall asleep because it was boring.
Especially if you was reading the King James Version.
Yes.
I don't know what any of these words mean.
I had the NIV, but still, I was just like...
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially when I was reading the freaking Chronicles.
The Chronicles.
Book of Chronicles 1 and 2. It's just basically a lineage.
Yeah.
That's all. Right. It's just listen who had who and all that. Boring.
Yeah. I'm like, y'all couldn't put this in the back of the Bible under like the appendix?
It was so boring, but it like there's so much that got taken out of the scriptures and stuff. So if you read the other scriptures and stuff, that some that got taken out of and all that, you see these names and stuff, you go back to the Chronicles like, oh, they did this and that. Oh, okay. This person came before this person and they lived like this. And I was like, I got it now. As I got into the spirit and all that, everything started to click and come together. But before that, before I got mature, it was just snooze.
Yeah.
I don't want to read this.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it doesn't you can't really relate to it. Yeah.
At all. Yeah, those are the hot takes. You heard any hot takes?
I was trying to think of some. Surprisingly, I don't think I have any for this time. If I have any, maybe I'll sneak them in later.
Mm-hmm. Well, today we're getting into Gurren Lagann. That is a show.
That pretty much sums it up. I have forgotten how much I enjoyed watching it because of how over the top it is. It is like to this day, it is still one of the most over the top shows I've ever seen. But I love it. I love it so much.
Yes. Oh, dude, it had me in my feels.
Yeah. Yeah.
But still the comedy and all that is there. Wild. Just who in the hell do you think I am?
Just one of the coldest one-liners. So iconic, man. I just love that line.
Going a little bit different. So, what is your favorite quote of Gurren Lagann? Besides, who the hell do you think I am?
Oh, dude, I'm actually glad you asked me that question. Because it was... Okay, so they had just... I don't want to say rescued, but they just went to Rasu's little village. And, they had just left. And Rasu decided with the two little kids that they were going to send up to the surface anyway to, like, just, I don't know, die. Just like, okay. Because their village had reached the 50 limit, the population. And so they had so of course the whole group is like, nah, we're not about that. We'll take these kids with us. And, they're leaving. And as they're leaving, Kamina is, talking about the priest, the head of the village. And he's saying why he doesn't like the dude. And he's saying, your eyes should always be forward. Because he's saying, this priest is always looking to tradition and to the past. And that's why they were always stuck where they were. And he's like, nah, I'm about moving forward. Like, that's why we have eyes in the front of our head. So we can keep seeing where we're going. So we can see our destination. And then Simon chimes in. And he's like, yeah, bro, you're right. We have eyes in the back of the head also, so we can see the backs of those in front of us. That's why Rasu is coming with us, because he can see our progress. He wants to be a part of that. Dude, James, I for real teared up. I was like, damn.
I didn't even catch that.
I was like, man, that's. I had to pause and rewind. I was like, that's kind of deep, because it's like, and I like that quote because it's Simon starting to, like, I don't know. He's starting to not be that wimpy little boy anymore. He's starting to turn into a man. He's finding his own wisdom. And of course, Kamina is like, he's his brother. That's his mentor, And Kamina, and even Kamina chimed in. Kamina was like, dang, yeah, you right, Simon. Like, that was a good, that's some good wisdom. That quote kind of stuck with me because I'm just like, that was actually pretty wise for, like, a kid's cartoon show.
Right. The one that I love the most and stick by it is kick logic out and do the impossible.
Because so much stuff doesn't make sense. Kamina, you can't just take this dude's head and stick it into your robot. Like, that, it doesn't work that way. Kamina's like, yes, it does. Boom, and it does. I was like, what? No, wait, no, what?
It's awesome, man.
But yeah, why? I'm sorry, I'll let you finish. Why do you like that quote so much?
That quote is just one of the things where it reminds me of how logic sometimes is a jail, a limitation on progress.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, if we really deep stuff of what we do nowadays, especially in this capitalistic world, if you deep it, even though so many people say it's logical, if you really deep it, it's not. It doesn't make any sense. So when people say that it's logic, if you just kick that away, you will be able to do so much more. One of the recent conversations I had with one of my sisters was saying how if you want to be a follower of Christ and a believer, you have to be delusional.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Because we're all living in a delusion where we're like, everything we see, we know that it's not permanent, but we feel that it is.
Yeah.
We are in this world, especially like how the systems are running right now. Like, if you really think about it, they were not running like this before, but we are in this system like, oh no, you have to go to school. You have to get a job. You have to pay your bills.
Right.
Like, and to pay your bills, you need a job. Doesn't matter what it is. You just need to make some money.
Right.
As fast as possible. And you have to do it because you have to pay this type of bill and this type of bill. And then it's like, why do I have to pay this bill? That doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
Why am I paying for the basic needs of every human being's basic needs? Like, why do I have to pay that monthly?
You're saying there's certain systems in place that we feel since they've been there for so long that they have to continue that way.
Yes, and you have to be a part of it.
Yeah, and you're right.
You have to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And all this, so I was just like, well, that's logical, that's sound logic and all that, but let me kick that to the side and follow my dream.
Yeah.
And live how I want to live.
Because it's kind of like, it's just for a cliche example, we're supposed to go to college, we're supposed to get a degree, we're supposed to get married, have a family,
yes.
The whole American dream that we've been sold for, I don't know how long.
Yep.
And so when you aren't fitting into that, even me, when I think about it logically, I'm like, I know I'm falling prey to these, ideals and stuff, and I still feel like, oh man, I still need that house, I still need a family, I know I still feel like I need it, but is that because I naturally desire that, or is it because society
with that
has
pressure,
indoctrinated me to that? So like you said, sometimes some people just take going to college, and I know this has been a debate for years and years and years, but people feeling shame for not going to college, and now maybe they're working as a manager at Home Depot or something, I don't know, whatever it is. Okay, hopefully they don't feel shame because they didn't like get a college degree or whatever. Hopefully they still feel valuable and productive members of society, and not feeling like, oh man, I didn't make it because I didn't go on the quote unquote right path.
Right.
I have some cousins who didn't get married, but they have kids, they have a family. Other people would see that as, oh man, they didn't do that right, they got married out of wedlock. And I know that's the kind of Christian kind of belief, but for those who aren't Christian, it's like, I don't know, it kind of goes back to what you're saying, like, I have to follow my dream, I have to do what's best for me. Maybe sometimes what's best for me is not logical
right
to other people or to the system.
Yeah. Because a lot of things that are progressing the society as a whole, somebody somewhere was like, I'm not doing it that way.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Like, they did not follow the traditional way and made progress. And they kicked the logic to the side and was like, I'm about to do this impossible thing.
Yeah.
Many years ago, there was no such thing as an esports player.
Right. I'm telling you, even me, for a hot minute, I was like, y'all just real out here playing games all day? Like, what? And making money? This player made how much from what? What? This is impossible. This is so stupid. But then after, a minute, and because of people with that mindset that you're talking about, they showed the world like, hey, this is actually a real thing. And there's actually so many positives to playing video games that for so many years, people just thought people were lazy, thought people were bums, thought people were like video games are too violent. And
corrupting the mind.
Corrupting people, corrupting our kids. And you're just sitting there in the game like you're wasting your life. But of course, I don't know all the positives, but I know it helps like hand-eye coordination and like a lot of cognitive stuff that, of course, there's a balance. Don't sit there for like 60 hours in front of the TV. But there's positives to it. And if there's a whole social part to it too that people are really, connecting to. It, like, video games bring people together. Like, that is so cool to me.
Yeah.
But all that wouldn't be possible without people saying, no, you know what? Kick logic to the side.
Get out.
Do the impossible. Somebody said, I'm going to build an esports arena and make money off of this and create this whole, I don't know, system or whatever. Somebody said that. Somebody probably heard that and was like, nah, that sounds stupid.
Yep. They said that the Wright brothers were dumb.
Right. People can't fly? What are you talking about?
They're not birds. If God meant for people to fly, he would have gave us wings.
Exactly.
And now millions of people are flying daily around the world.
Exactly. Helping the world to be more connected than like what never would have been possible.
Never. It's simple stuff too.
Yeah.
Like what's another thing that's very simple that we take for granted? I guess indoor plumbing.
Yeah.
Somebody was like, we're gonna run this pipeline underground into a house straight from the well.
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that when you just go to the well?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that would never work.
Yeah. Yeah. How's that going to work? How are we going to get all that? Look, you can keep pooping where you live if you want to and keep getting sick. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to figure this shit out.
And now look, this is simple stuff like that we take for granted every day. And it's just like all these people had to be like, they had to really deep it, be like, it's like, there's got to be some way where this can be possible.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I just have this idea.
Yeah.
I have this dream.
Yeah.
And so if you haven't guessed by now, like Gurren Lagann is a show based on these quotes, like you should want to watch it. But just in case you don't, basically it's I'll give a rundown of what the show is. Or you want to give a rundown what it is?
I can try.
All right. Go ahead.
I was trying to think I could try. I think I remember the first season fairly well. I don't remember the second season that too well. Basically, something has happened in the world where all the humans are driven underground and these beastmen live on the surface. And they're controlling the surface pretty much for centuries. Until one day, a beastman crashes through this village underground and I've already lost it.
Yeah, so the beastmen, they use these giant mechas, like these gunmen type things. That's what they use to kill all the humans that come up to the surface. But it crashes into the underground where the two main characters stay. Their whole goal was to get to the surface, but they was always stopped. And so when that gunman came crashing down to the ceiling, there's this girl who's fighting it. And then once she defeats it, and they go up to the basically to the top, to the surface, with a miniature Gundam that was found underground by the main character. It's really good. And then their adventures has inspired many other people from underground villages to come and join them in this fight. Just like, how did y'all make it out? And that takes me to my second favorite quote, which is Team Goron. He's like, we're Team Goron. We take victory out of the jaws of defeat.
Dang. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just like, yeah, there are so many times when we are, like, in my experience, there's been many times when logically I should have just gave in and threw up the towel because everything was against me and it just was not going to work. But I was just like, you know what? I'm about to keep believing. And to the very, very end, like the absolute end. And it works out.
I'm telling you. What was I going to say? It's like that's when you know that God has his hand on you. Because I remember a very specific moment in my college career that I was at rock bottom. I mean, grades wise,
yeah,
life wise, I was doing all right, but like in terms of schooling, I was like at rock bottom. And there's, I'll go back a little bit. There's a scene when Kamina and them first get to the surface, and they first learn of gunmen. He steals one for the first time, and he's trying to figure it out. He's like, "Oh, all you need is fighting spirit." That's just Kamina's motto.
Yep.
It just needs fighting spirit. All you need is fighting spirit. Like, okay, all right, Kamina. And like he's like, if the beastman can do it, I can do it too. And so through like his first battle, I think it's his first or second battle, he's like getting beat up, and he's like the mech shuts down because he's not supposed to be in it. The machine doesn't recognize his print, and so it's like shutting down. He's like getting beat up, and he sees this skeleton in the dirt, and he's like having an existential crisis. And he's like, "Oh shit, I'm about to die up here." Like, I just got up here, and he's like really, you can see like the panic in his face. And all of a sudden his drive kicks in. He's just like, you know what? F it. He's like, who the hell do you think I am? And like all of the lights turn green. And
it goes to his face.
Yes. And it accepts him. He's like, and he's like sweating and saying, I ain't dying up here. I ain't dying up here. And like, it was a turning point. And like, for me, that was like, I felt that because, and so going back to my schooling, I had failed one of my studio courses for like the second time.
Yeah.
And they were telling me you're gonna have to wait till next year to re-enroll. I'm like, that's another year of my life. That's another year of expenses. Like, what am I going to tell my family? Like, that I fail? Like, I'm a failure, dude. Like, I remember being in the dining hall. If I was in the dining hall, I could probably point to the same chair I sat in.
Wow.
And I was eating lunch, and I was crying, dude. Just sobbing to myself in this corner. And I don't know, God sent an angel or something, because this girl just walked up, and she just smiled, and she was like, you know, hope you have a good day. You know, she like gave me a little hug and stuff, and just smiled at me and walked off. And I was just like,
yeah.
I'm gonna finish this doggone program. Yeah. I'm like, you know, I was like, I'm not gonna quit. Like, you know, and this was me after like I was in like my third year of school. So it was just like, dude, like, no matter what. I think at that point I was like, no matter what setback, I'm finishing this program. Like, I don't care what I gotta do, I'm finishing this program. And there's a few other moments like that in my life, but it's just like that. I got to keep going forward.
Yeah.
I have to keep going forward no matter
stop.
what.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's that scene that really stuck with me. That, and besides, you know, Kamina's end. Yeah. That was awesome. Ooh.
I was not ready for that when I first watched it. I was like, what?
Because I don't know about you. I think I thought Kamina was the main character.
I did. The narrator was like, this is a story about a man who has not yet discovered his destiny.
Yeah. And Kamina is always talking about his destiny. So I'm just like, okay, obviously I was like, oh, what is happening?
Man, let me see you grit those teeth. They had a recall at the end. Did you catch that? When Simone did it?
Oh, no.
He did it to Rocio.
Oh, I gotta go back. Okay.
Rocio. Yeah, he did it to Rocio. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He was like, Rocio, let me see you grip those teeth. That was when Rocio was ready to check out because he felt like he failed.
Yeah.
And he couldn't hold a light to Simone and all that. It was just like,
yeah.
The character development on Simone is so top tier.
Oh, bro.
Oh, my goodness.
Because when we first see this dude, and he's just like, you know, we can't do that, you know, and it's just like, bro, let's just run. Let's run. And to the, like you said, to the end, he's just like, all the lights in the sky are our enemy, huh? Who the hell do you think I am? I'm just like, okay, this is, that is character development, dude.
So good.
And they did it in how many episodes? 26 episodes?
27.
27 episodes. And I think of, okay, here's my hot take. My Hero Academia. Why is Deku still just like, I'm sure now he's a little more mature.
Have you got caught up to the manga?
No.
Okay, yeah, he's not like that no more.
Okay.
He got character development, yeah.
Because I'm like, for the first 3 or 4 seasons, I'm like, this dude has not really, in my eyes, he's not really grown that much in terms of his, like, just...
They definitely didn't do it in 27 episodes.
No, just took way too long. Like, how many times does Bakugo have to call you out of your name before you just like, you know what? Pop! Say it again. Say it again. You don't know who you're talking to.
He's him.
Okay.
But he still makes me upset, though. The last chapter I read, the updated one, I won't spoil none, but he made me mad. It's one of those things where he's trying to save the villain.
See, and
the villain is beyond redemption right now. He was beyond redemption like 2 seasons ago.
For real, though.
But I'm just like, I mean, that's a kingdom principle right there, though, because there's so many people we as humans will deem as non-redeemable, but God, Jesus be like, oh, I'll pay for them already.
That's true.
They set me and repent. They're good.
That's true.
And we just like, no, God, I know you generous, but don't be that generous. He's trash. Throw him away.
You know?
But God's like, hey, honestly, y'all all trash to me, but at the same time, you're not. Like, all the things y'all do is trash to me. That's what I should say.
Yeah.
All the things you guys do is trash to me, but you yourself, you guys aren't trash. Like, you're my precious creation.
Yeah.
My masterpiece.
That's a good way to put it. 'Cause
Yeah.
it is so hard.
It's as humans, as we see things, we have a tier for things you can come and have redemption for, and things you do not. For God, He only has a list of 7, but everything else is redeemable.
See, that's why I'm not God, because Tomura Shigaraki, I would wipe you off the face of the planet, dude. There's no way. You just blew away like a whole half of a city, dude. Like, come on now. There's no way.
Yeah,
You are not living.
yeah, you gotta die.
You have to die.
You have to die because you're not. You have a determination of not stopping.
Yeah, exactly. And now you can just wipe stuff away without even touching it. Okay.
Arch theme of the antagonist is to stop them from reaching their potential because they're afraid of that there's destruction. And the entire theme for the protagonist is we have to reach our potential.
Yeah.
And there should be no limits on us to keep us from reaching our potential.
Yeah.
And if you put some limits on us, it doesn't matter what you come and throw at us. We're gonna keep going forward no matter what. Like you were saying, like we're going to live who we are, live our truth, be who we are, and with that, just do the impossible, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, who are you to tell me what I say? So there is a main protagonist's idea was to never give up and believe in yourself to the very end. That's what it was. Believe in yourself to the very end. And that's one of the things I love about it because I had always struggled with my belief in myself.
Yeah.
And being able to do things right. Because every time I would do something or go off the script, I was scolded for it and given a reprimand, or somehow it had infringed on somebody else. And it was like, it was unneeded.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I don't have any confidence in my decision making for other people anymore. Then I grew confidence in decision making for myself, me and myself, but for others, decision making, I'm still at that. I don't know if I can make that decision for you confidently because I'm afraid that it's going to be something that you're going to deem as not helpful or unnecessary, and then you're going to hate me for it.
Yeah, yeah.
Or not like me for it, and I don't want to be not liked.
It's a lot of pressure. Yeah, it's a lot of pressure.
And that's part of being in the leadership positions too. Like you got to make decisions for other people.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't want that pressure, but I'm starting to gain that confidence and believing in me. The decisions I make for myself and others is okay. Like, and if some people will be against it or whatever, like that's just on them.
James.
It's not on me. Cause cause I lead with love anyways.
Yeah.
And I know that whatever decision I'm making is for the best.
Yeah. That
I can make in that moment, in that time. So if they don't like it, they can make another decision. They don't have to choose to go along with my decision.
And you're not responsible for their decision making.
Yep.
Yeah. I feel that wholeheartedly. Even more recently, I just was literally telling myself the other day, because I struggle with that too. But for me, it's more anything that I do. So like say at work, if I'm part of a team and I'm working on a task, I'm always worried that maybe my part of it is not as good as theirs, or maybe it's, I'll mess something up, or maybe it's whatever anxiety I have about it. And then I'm worried about somebody else hating me for that, or like getting upset with me for that because maybe I'm not up to their standards or whatever. Lately, I've been trying to tell myself, just trust yourself. Just trust yourself. Just trust that whatever you do, it is to the best of your ability. And then you got this. Just know that you can handle whatever life throws at you. And instead of having the thought, man, I don't know if I can do this. No, I can't do this. I can handle it. I don't know what's coming, but hey, whatever comes when I get to work, I can handle it. I can take that on. I can do it. If somebody has a problem with it, or if somebody has an attitude, I can handle that attitude.
Yep.
I can handle them being mad at me. I can handle them yelling at me, which is kind of an irrational fear because, I know it happens, but nobody at work is going to be like, Lewis, why did you, they're not going to yell at me. I know my teammates. I know they're going to do it out in love. Like, hey, I noticed you did this. Maybe next time think about, they're going to do it respectfully. Yeah. Yeah. But there's that fear in my head that I just have to fight against. And so, just kind of going back to, us believing in ourselves and stuff like that. And even what you were just saying a few minutes ago of, people kind of throughout your life saying, hey, James, you're off the path. And you're like, why am I off the path? Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? I'm just doing me. You know, Kamina sees himself in Simone. And that, I think that's why he's so attached to him. There's even a moment, kick logic out and do the impossible.
Yep.
Just, I got you, dude. Believe in me. And you can just see how that plays out through the whole entire show.
It does so well.
So well. And it's like, sometimes the lesson in that is sometimes you just need somebody outside of yourself to just kind of help you work through whatever you're working through.
Mm-hmm.
That could be a friend, it could be God, it could be your parents, you know, it could be a mentor.
Yeah.
Just find somebody to help you through that stuff.
And like the quote for the Bible of the kick logic out and do the impossible is lean not on your own understanding.
Oh, boom. That is like, dude, that is like,
just trust me.
Yeah. That is like almost, that is like a direct translation to me. That is dope.
Yeah, because our own understanding is so limited.
Yeah.
Even the fact of our understanding of God, it says in the Bible that we will never see God fully.
Mm-hmm.
We'll never understand him fully. We only get pieces of him. Like God only reveals himself in like parts to all of humanity. And that's why it was so integral that we are in community. Because like you might have a different viewpoint of who God is and how he moves and stuff, and I have a whole different one. But when we get together in unity and in agreement, things cooking. Yeah, it says one can send 1,000 on flight, but two can send like a legion. So just two people, when they come together in agreement, they can repel a legion of people. That's wild to me.
Yeah.
Like you in agreement, I'm in agreement, and we're in agreement with God. Doesn't matter if those hooligans who have no belief or nothing come at us, they're gonna be put to shame.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel like when these nations start to come after us, the governments and all that who are wicked and run by people, they're gonna start to come after just the everyday people who are not trying to be put in their box, and they're gonna come after our assets and all that. It's like, hey, I'm in agreement with God. This is from him. You can't touch this. You can't touch me. So I might just be chilling. I'm about to kick the logic. Logically, it says if a government comes after you, you just got to relinquish control and you have no say.
Yeah.
You're just at mercy to them. What they say, I'm like, but I serve a God. I serve the God of Abraham, of Israel, Isaac. And they all face down kings. Yeah. And the kings was like, I can't touch it.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the story about Abraham with Sarah? And he was in this king's kingdom, and the king saw Sarah. She was like, she's beautiful. He's like, who is that? And Abraham was like, that's my sister. And so he was like, okay. And he tried to take him. He was about to take take Sarah as his wife, but then the angel came down like, don't you touch that woman. You will die. Then the king was like, called an Abraham like, why would you lie to me?
Because I thought you was going to murder me. That's why. That's what I would have said.
Yep. He's like, why would you lie to me and have me get smite by God? Like, you ain't going to do that.
Because if I was Abraham, I would have been like, I don't trust humans. If I would have told you, okay, if I would have told you this is my wife, and then, God said not to touch my wife.
That's why he said it, though. And Isaac had the same thing with his wife. His wife's name was it Rachel? No, that was Jacob's wife. Rebecca. Isaac's wife was Rebecca. She was bad, too. And King saw her. He was like, hey. He was like, this is not my wife. Did the same thing as his dad. And same thing happened. Like, you trying to get me killed. Why would you lie to me? It just shows you that even when God had like walking with people, like you can still be fearful and make some decisions. So one of the things I've learned, and especially I saw that in Gurren Lagann too, like there was a moment when they were fighting. They were fighting the first four generals. The first one, and then when that first thing came,
the giant, it was the die something, die
something. And when they first came, they were outmatched, could not fight them, and Simon was like, bro, we gotta go. Everybody was telling Kamina, we gotta leave, we can't fight them. And Kamina was like, no, we do not turn our backs, we never run. Like, we team Goron, we never run away. We never have our backs turned against the enemy. And everybody was just thinking he was crazy and reckless. And then he had to get Simone. He's like, Simone, I get what you're saying, but if we run and turn away, we cannot outrun them. They will run us down and we will be killed.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things where if you make a decision out of fear, it really never works out.
Yeah.
I've saw that in the Bible. I've seen that in many people's life, in my life. Every time I made a decision out of fear, it didn't really work out. But if I made a decision out of faith, that's when it'd be working. And that faith is like powered by how much God loves me. And it says perfect love casts out fear.
I like that. Yeah.
And so a lot of people think that the opposite of love is hate, but no, the opposite of love is fear.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so when you are operating in fear, you're not operating in love.
Yeah.
And the decisions you make does not breed any type of love, any good, ill, or whatever. So you have to make your decisions based on faith. You still have to, even though we say kick logic out of sight, I do understand that you have to have some type of logic when you do stuff. But if you're doing it out of fear, you might want to rethink before you make that decision and get your heart in a different posture before you make it. Because sometimes it can be a good decision, but if you made it out of fear, it's not going to lead to the path that you wanted to. For example, I can make a decision to choosing a college. I can make a decision to go to a college that's closer because I'm fearful of being away from home. Or I can make and then I still have a terrible college experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or and then same coin, different side, I can choose to go to a college closer to home because I just love to be around my family. And it's not a fear of missing them or not being around them. It's just like, I really like being around them.
Yeah.
And I will be remorsed if I am not around them for a lot of time. And I just love to see their faces. So,
yeah.
And then you go to college, have a good experience.
Yeah.
And that was what I did. I made a faith-based decision of going to college close by so I can still be close to family and have that support system. And it was a great time because there's many times when I should have been out of college. But since I had that support system, I was good.
I'm telling you, that support system, I'm telling you, because for us, for me and Didi, last year we were this close to buying a house. We were pretty close.
Yeah.
And I think it was more out of that fear because we're living with her parents, cramped space. We don't have our own spot. It's just a whole number of things that just wasn't really, and still isn't really working for us.
Yeah.
And at the time, it was like, okay, we have our opportunity. Yes, out of our budget, and there's all these other things, and it's like a brand new house. Yeah. It's like we're so excited and everything. Finally, it came back and we're like, okay, we can swing this, right? Yeah, we can make this work. And of course, talking to both of our parents, and they're just like, don't do that. Don't sign for that house. Do not do that. Property taxes are going to go up each year.
Yep.
Your salary is not going to match. The utilities are going to be expensive because it's a new neighborhood. It's like literally they're going to still be building homes when you move into it. Like, it's that new. And it's like, I know you're excited and stuff, but just calm down, just wait. And we're like, the fear, like, man, we're going to stay with her parents another whole year. We're not going to have any freedom. Like, all these fears just kind of, it's like, but you know what? All right, you're right. And we decided not to do it. And we put our money into savings into a CD instead. So it's been kind of gaining some money. And living with their parents hasn't been too bad. But, it's like now that we're expecting, it's like, okay, this is actually very, very beneficial because Didi's going to need support. We're going to need support. And her parents are literally right there. Her mom works from home literally every day.
Wow.
And I think even her mom is retiring this year. So her mom is going to be there to help us. And, and of course her dad too and stuff. And the house is big enough. It's got a lot of space in it. So it's just like, okay, not a fear-based decision. Let's just, and it's like, I knew deep down, I not even very deeply, I knew this was the right decision. And so just like you said, sometimes doing a decision out of fear, you end up like hurting yourself later down the road that you don't anticipate.
Right. That's one of the reasons why I feel so many people's lives are like, they will say screwed up, and or they've been scarred, I should say, like that. been scarred and became bitter towards people or whatever because they made a decision to, whether it's jump into a business because they fear that, oh, this is a one lifetime opportunity. I will never get this again.
Yeah.
But there's something about it. I shouldn't do it, but I know deep down there's no peace in that decision. But they I got to do it anyways because this is one lifetime opportunity. Or they'll jump in a relationship with somebody because they're in fear of being alone.
Yeah, or won't leave a relationship.
Yeah,
that they know they need to leave.
Exactly. And so it's just one of those things, like you were saying, how that decision to stay wasn't based off of fear. Because a lot of people can see, again, flip side of the same coin of, I'm living with my parents, it's nice, and I'm afraid to leave this comfort, but I have this opportunity. It's a little bit stretch, but I know we can swing it, and all this is going to come, but I don't know what's going to come next down the road or whatever, because some opportunity after they make that opportunity could be they're in a better position financially after they made the decision to go to the house, right? And they just didn't see that coming, but this is just how God was setting them up. But they was fearful for how much the price was going to. They were like, no, I'm about to stay here. Like it's just one of those things where you have to be in tune with the spirit, in tune with the wisdom around you. Like the people who are there, you trust them, and you're like, yep, that's good. That confirmed in my spirit what was I was already had said. You're confirming it, so I'm just like, I gotta listen to you.
Just listen to your gut.
And then again, trusting yourself. Because most of the times, like me, my sister was just talking about how the church has it bad where they'll come and try to talk to you what God's saying. They prophesy over God, and you be like, I didn't hear God say that. Okay. God didn't tell me that.
I'm like, bro, just because a thought popped into your mind don't mean that God gave it to you, okay? Right. To tell me, like, come on.
Yeah, and she was saying how the only time like it's legit for you is it should just be confirming what the Holy Spirit or God already told you. Like it's just a confirmation when they tell you. It's like, oh yeah, I was hearing that.
Right.
And so that's why you have to be able to trust yourself, trust that you can hear God's voice, and that's just basically you build that up over time, anyways. And that's just being in your word, praising, worship. Praising, worship, reading. And praying. That's it. Praying. And you get into that, and then you be able to hear God's voice. So when somebody comes to you talking about something, God told me to tell you, you need to go buy a car.
Nah.
I didn't get that. I got God's number. He got my number. He could have called me. Why he called you?
Exactly.
Why he tell me not me? God told me that's your wife. Oh, really?
No.
He must send it to the wrong address.
Right.
He called the wrong number that day. But I didn't hear that.
Seriously. Living your life according to what somebody else says. That's also a very strong theme through the show. Common is like from the jump. When he's down in his own village, you could tell he's the only one like himself, and everybody else is like, looking at him like he's crazy, because the head chief keeps telling Kamina, "Look, dude, you can't go to the service, dude. Like you can't." He's telling him what he can and can't do, and Kamina is like, "I'm not living my life according to you. I'm living my life according to me. I know my dad made it to the surface. I've been up there. I've literally seen it with my own eyes." And the chief is like, "No, you haven't. You're a liar, and so is your dad." And Kamina is like, "Oh, okay, I know what I'm talking about." And sure enough, just through Kamina living his life and trusting himself, like you said, he's gathered up this following. So when he gets to that die, whatever,
right,
and he's not running, and he is being a little reckless, but he's living by his principles. His crew comes up and saves him without him even doing anything. So just by him living his life and inspiring all these people, they come in at the moment that he needs them to, and like backs him up. And sure enough, they defeat the enemy.
Right. So Common doing that, sticking to his principles, sticking to who he is, and not backing down. A lot of people call that stubbornness or whatever, but it's one of those things where it's just conviction. And when you have a conviction and are sticking to your principles and who you are, whatever you're trying to accomplish, even though it's bigger than you are, but you have so much belief, that's going to inspire other people to come help you.
Yeah.
That was the whole theme of One Piece, of Luffy, his like special ability, because he's so determined, has so much confidence and faith in himself.
Yeah.
And he knows what he can and cannot do, but he also knows like the big dream that I have is so big and all that I can do it, but I also know I can't do it alone. Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna do it regardless.
Yeah.
Even if I have to do it alone, I'm gonna somehow get it done.
Yeah.
Even if I die. And so people say like, and they just love him. They're like, he's himself. Genuinely, I love that. I don't want to see this kid die.
Yeah.
I gotta help him.
Yeah.
Whatever power I can give him, I have to. Like, I'm compelled.
Yeah.
And so that's Kabita. And so many people were compelled to go help him. Mm-hmm. And that's how it is in our life too. And that's why a lot of times, like, I don't really feel that bad that I don't have like a team around me to help me, because I haven't really put my hands to the plow yet. I just been getting my mind right first, and then I'm gonna put my hands to the plow, and then that's when I'm gonna expect the team to come around me, come to me, you know.
Yeah.
Or as I'm walking along, I was like, "Hey, like, you mind? You good at? Come help me."
Yeah.
You know. And if they want to, and most of the time they be like, they're probably gonna be like, "Nah," and then they see my determination and see me struggling. It's like, he ain't giving up.
Yeah.
Let me go help this person.
Yeah. Because I've lately been thinking of what I want to do in my career, you know, in terms of housing and being an architect and developing neighborhoods, communities and stuff. And like you said, I can't do it by myself. So how can I, you know, I've been thinking about maybe I need to connect with realtors. So there's a couple of realtors I need to email and say, hey, I'm a designer, I want to be an architect. You're a realtor, you do houses, like, how can we learn from each other? Maybe I can go find some contractors. Just finding people to build up my team, you know, and thinking of it as, you know, the Straw Hat crew.
Right.
And like, they all have their own specialty and are boss at it. And when you bring them all together, it's like, y'all are literally unstoppable.
They are.
You know, and same with Team Daiguren. It's like, y'all are literally unstoppable because of the team you've put together.
Right. And the thing about it is how the boss teams like that, when they go to life together with, I noticed that it's just, as they're going along the journey, people will just they'll meet them. Right. Show them who they are. Treat them with respect, you know. They treat, and in return it's reciprocated, and they see what they about. It's like, let me join you because you're doing something huge. Yeah. And it's lining up with my dream as well. Yes. Because I have a dream to be free as well. And same with Straw Hat, you know, as he was progressing, he'll get them. It wasn't like, I need a singer now, I'm about to go to the island of singers. It's like, it just happened to be like, for instance, the doctor. He needed a doctor from when Nami got sick. Mm-hmm. And it just happened that Drum Island was like nearby along the path, you know. And it was like, all right, we're going to go to Drum Island. And that's the next island on our list. Yeah. And they just have to be famous for doctors. Coincidence? Maybe. Fate? Destiny?
Plot armor?
No. Yeah. Well, who knows? Because there'd be some times when I hear stories all the time like, yeah, I was just thinking about I needed somebody, and then all of a sudden I got a phone call. Yeah. And that was exactly what I needed.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm telling you, dude. Sometimes stuff just lines up, and you have to, you know, it's the whole stay ready so you don't have to get ready kind of mindset. You know, it's like, okay. Hey, okay, you popped up all of a sudden. Hey, I'm ready for you. I needed a doctor. That's cool. I don't know how this worked out, but it just did. And it's also them valuing each other. Like, that's just something. I think that's why the whole friendship trope is so strong in Shonen. It's people valuing each other. Yep. It's like, you know, when Luffy sees a crew member, he's like, "Oh, I want you on my crew." Like, instantly, he's like, "Okay, I know I like you. I want you on my crew." And they're like, "Why?" He's like, "I just trust my instincts." Yep. You know, I just trust my instincts, and I value you. And so, but then he truly values them, and he leans on them. Yes. And it shows. And then they step up to the plate, and it's like, same with in Gurren Lagann. It's like, you're amassing people that you value, and they see that value, and they reciprocate. And it's like, man, this is.
Right, and then that's to that. So much faith in each other. Yeah. Freaking the princess, what is her name?
Oh, I can't remember. I will not remember. The Spiral King's daughter.
Yeah, they called her name so many times.
Yeah.
How did I forget that? I just watched it just earlier today. They said her name over and over. Leah, was it? No, it wasn't Leah. It was...
See, I'm so bad with names in anime too. It's not even funny.
It could be Leah, actually. Anyways, the princess, the first meeting with Yoko or Yonko, she was like, Yonko was giving her so much, like, I don't like you energy. And then she was getting squeezed by the general, the Scorpion general.
Yeah.
And she just closed her eyes. That sniper pointed at her. Yoko had a sniper pointed at her. Was like, it's like, what you gonna do? Kill the princess so I have no leverage? And she just like, and then shot her here, and then shot again through the hair, but shot the shoulder. And then Yoko was like, why did you close your eyes? Like, I just have faith in you. You had really good... I knew you were really skilled with the sniper.
See? Dude.
Didn't move an inch or nothing. Just...
Yeah.
I was like, that is faith.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's what makes them a strong team.
Yeah. Because there's one thing of helping somebody who was determined to do something and all that, but then there's sometimes when you just have to, like, carry them completely.
Yeah.
And if they're struggling though against you, fighting you to help for them to help and like get carried, then it's just futile. That's the thing with swimming. You know,
both gonna drown.
Yeah, that's why lifeguards, they wait until you stop. And once you stop moving, then they'll go in and get you.
Got you.
Because if you just flailing and stuff, they're not. Some might be in the water, but staying in waiting for you to stop.
Yeah.
That instincts, you know.
Yeah.
That survival instinct is just you to. Even at that preservation, shoot, who made me mad in the Girl Long Gone that was trying to survive? I don't think none of them did that actually.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Because they had so much faith in each other and stuff, right?
Yeah, I can't really think of anybody.
Like, because you know, it's always that one person when they be like, "Don't move" or something, and then one and then run and then after everything.
James, me and Didi were watching Detective Conan last night. They were in. Have you seen any Detective Conan?
Mm-mm.
So but you do know what it is.
I know.
So of course, he's with his little kid friends. They're like following him around. So this librarian, so the story is this librarian is like dealing drugs on the side. He's hiding drugs in the books. And he's murdered somebody because somebody figured it out. And they're looking for the body. And they so the police have come and gone. They can't find the body, whatever. They don't suspect the librarian. The librarian is like, I've tricked the police, whatever. And the kids overhear him talking to himself in the dark because he's like the villain and he's like saying everything that he did, and of course all the kids overhear, and of course the big kid like leans on the door and it creaks open and the dude's like, who's there, of course, and they run and they hide, and it's like the boy is like that same character that you were just saying. Why are you doing stuff to screw us up? Why are you doing this? And like his stomach is growling. He's like, man, I'm hungry. And the dude is like, shut the up, dude. Like, what the dude?
You not understand the situation.
We're about to get murdered. He's about to murder these little kids. Why are you saying stuff? He's like touching stuff, James. He's like rolling. He's like on the bookshelf, like doing stuff. Like, why, dude? I hate this little kid in this moment.
So stupid.
So dumb. God.
Wow, that's crazy. It's always that one.
Yeah, dude.
And then Girl Long, the closest one to that was the dude who kept pushing the button too early. Yeah. Okay. Fire! It's like, no, wait. That was hilarious every time. He's just so trigger happy.
You can't be on our squad no more, dude. I know we say we accept anybody, but you can't be on our squad.
Hey, they kept him on all the way to the very end. He had the same job. Just pushing them buttons, dude.
Like, who put you in charge of this button, man?
Dude, one of the things was when it was like, we gotta run some tests before they had put the Spiral King's head, like biocomputer or whatever. They started, we gotta run some tests. He's like, starting okay. And they just all started up. They was like, no, what? They was like, oh, it worked. Oh, it's man, that show is so funny but so good.
Man, it was such a good balance of like comedy and action, and then like some like really heartfelt moments. I'm just like, what is this?
So I don't really like mecha
No.
anime. I watched the Gundam Wing when I came on Toonami and all that.
Yeah.
And I never really understood what was happening.
Yeah. Because
I was so young, probably.
And that show is really, it's a lot of political stuff.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the older Gundams are always about war and politics that just, as a kid,
it just went over my head. So it just kind of turned me off. I even watched Big Ben.
I don't even think I've heard of that.
That one was, he just had this one move. He would have like, the mecha suit was a big, tall, black.
Oh, Big O.
Oh, Big O. Yeah, that's a Big Ben. Yeah, Big O.
Now, see, that one I really liked. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But that is still a mind effort, because if you try to sift through the plot of that and like really understand what the show is about, it's like, I
probably have to watch that as an adult, because as a child, I haven't went back to it. But as a child, I didn't really get it. I just know I really like the punch.
Yes.
Just had it.
Yes. And James, the music, the soundtrack is so dope to me. And he's like, the lines is like, "Ye not guilty," and it's like you said, he jumps in, he's just like, "Big O, showtime." And the punches, like the animation is so good because you actually feel the weight of the punches that he does.
Yeah. And
oh man.
Then they started having a whole bunch of other Gundam stuff I never watched.
Yeah.
And it just, I lost my interest in that type of. But when I saw Gurren Lagann, I was just like, this is funny and really good.
Yes.
I was like, I enjoy this.
Yes. Have you watched G Gundam?
Mm-mm.
It's if you ever get a chance, go and watch the English dub of G Gundam. It is like one of the worst English dub shows of all time, James. I'm telling you, it's so bad that it's good. Like I love G Gundam because of how terrible it is. Like the acting is horrible. All the moves are like not that great.
Was it made in the like early 90s or something?
I think so. But he does have like this one move. I just have to show you his shining finger. It's pretty epic. He goes into like this whole spiel. He's like, these hands of mine are burning red. He's like, they told me to grasp power. He like goes through this whole thing, but
that sounds familiar. Shining finger.
Yeah.
Why does that sound familiar?
Oh, because they referenced it in Steins Gate. That's what he called Moeka with the phone.
Yeah, shining. But because was it red? The tip of the finger red of the Gundam or something?
It would glow like. Sometimes different versions. I think the first version glowed like this kind of green color. Yeah,
because I have the image of it's like a red and stuff, and then maybe it was green when they did something with a finger in One Piece. Maybe.
Well, there's different like versions because it gets an upgrade, and I think it does turn a different color. I think it does turn red. I can't remember, but G Gundam is also. I only bring it up because it's also way over the top.
Mm-hmm.
Some parts of it can be, but kind of not in a good way. Whereas Gurren Lagann does it on purpose. G Gundam is like, okay, that was. There's a lot of stuff when you look at it, you're just like, who wrote this?
There was another quote that you were saying. You remember when he was saying, if you believe in me, believe in the company that believes in Simon?
Yeah.
So at the end, when it was time to say goodbye to Kamina's like, remember, don't believe in me that believes in you. Believe in the Simon that believes in you.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. And it's one of those where it's just like, because we're all are supposed to be on a journey of progression, progressing to the person we're supposed to be, like our ideal self. And that's ideal self, if you are a Christian, will be who God already created you to be. The real you, like when we were born and all that. And so that person that's already there at the finish line believes in us right now.
Yes.
And believes that we'll get to him.
It's just like when we were talking about Steins Gate and Hoenn gets to the end of well, I won't say the end of his journey, but I like at the end, and he can see that message now, and it's him talking to himself, like, "Hey, all that you went was necessary," and it's like him giving himself a pep talk. And it's like, dude, I love that notion of you being able to talk to yourself and like say, "Hey, I got this."
Yeah, I'll be having conversations sometimes where it's a decision that I made in the past. I forgot all about it, and then the fruits come, and I was like, "James, you were so wise." Like, thank you for making that decision. Yes. That was so dope of you.
Thank you, past self. Thank you.
It was like, I'd be like, I'm smart. So I was like, I knew that was gonna happen, and I did it, and now I made a decision in that moment. So now I am reaping the fruits of that.
Yeah.
Like something specific, it's just minor. It'd be like early in the morning or late at like 2 days ago. I would put a reminder or something because I know I'm gonna forget.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I do forget, and then a reminder comes up. It's like, I was so wise to do that because I definitely forgot. I knew I would forget, and I was like, "Thank you for doing that because this was really important."
Yeah. Or like if it's something that I don't know. There's something I don't feel like doing in this moment, but I know later I'm really not going to feel like doing it, and I'm like, let me just do this now. And then later, sure enough, it's like there's a benefit to me. I've done it doing it earlier.
Yeah,
that's what I'm working on myself now. Is like just do it now.
Have you ever have it ever been something like you don't feel like doing it in that moment, but you did it, and then you forgot that you did it though?
Yes.
And then the moment you knew that you would not feel like doing it, and it comes, and you're like, "Dang, I gotta go do this." Open it or whatever, it's like, "Oh, it's done."
Oh, thank you, God. Thank you, God.
Yes. I was like, I finished it. I didn't even realize it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like, I was like, yes, thank you. I don't got to do it. It's like, woo.
It doesn't happen often for me, but when it does happen, I'm like, oh, thank you that I had the foresight. Thank you.
Man, lately it's been happening more often now for me.
That's
I've really been like, there was a whole sermon of being able to like just showing honor. And the last sermon by our pastor Martin was like, honor yourselves. Like, the only way you can be dishonored by somebody else if you are already showing dishonor to yourself.
Dang. Wait, say that one more time.
So you can only be dishonored by somebody else if you dishonor yourself.
Yeah.
So if you have honor for yourself, you honor in every area of your life, you show honor of yourself and individuality, then anybody who try to show dishonor, it really won't bother you. It's not going to be dishonorable because you're just like, oh, I honor myself. So whatever they're saying, it just doesn't apply.
Yeah.
And if they try to enforce something on you, you're just like, I have honor for myself, boundaries up. So you can't even infringe that on me. So you can't even enforce that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, you have no power over here.
That's actually pretty powerful, dude.
Yeah, and he had got that from God when he went on a walk, because the Holy Spirit just like, go walk.
Walks and showers for me are just my meditation space.
Yeah,
I get revelations like that when I'm walking too, and that's why I don't like the winter so much, because I like to walk outside. But anyway,
I begin my revelations in worship.
Okay.
When I just be worshiping and I just be sitting there watching something.
Like anything?
Anything. Because another thing that I've learned over the years is I told you this, you can find the kingdom in anything.
You really can.
Kingdom principles are everywhere, in everything, genre or whatever. There's somebody, some piece is there. And that takes us to the kingdom themes of Gurren Lagann.
Yeah.
Like, so the kingdom thing that I found was never giving up, always keep the hope and faith, and be yourself and believe in yourself.
Yeah.
If you want references to this, like never giving up, could be the story of David when he got anointed to be king as a shepherd boy, and he doesn't become king until way later, and is having various trials during that time. Also Joseph, he never gave up on his dream. He was sold into slavery by his brothers, and he became the second in command in all of Egypt in that dynasty.
In that story, it's just crazy that in order for him to even be next to the destiny that he's supposed to fulfill, he has to go to prison.
Yeah.
That's the lowest point. It's like, dang.
That's the lowest.
But what a like. I mean, that sucks. I wouldn't want to live that life. But what a crazy story that, man, this dude was in prison. Now he's like one of the top dogs. Like, but yeah, while you're in a situation, just try to make the best of it and still do honor yourself and do things to the best of your ability, because you don't know where that's going to take you.
Right.
You don't know where that's going to lead you.
Right.
And so it's like, for me and my job, I don't know, lately I'm trying to like just do your best, dude. Just show up and just do your work to the point where they're like, you know, okay, what else can we give Lewis, or what else can we, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, I can see that. I
Yeah.
can see.
So whatever situation, circumstance you in, like, you can't allow that to keep you in a hopeless place.
Yeah.
Simone said it best. He was like, despair, we don't even know what that is. Like, that's not even a part of our vocabulary.
Yeah.
Because the whole time the anti-spirals, what is the antagonist of it, they just wanted to get them into despair.
Yeah.
And soon as they get them into despair, they're going to kill them. Because that's the whole thing, how spiral power works. As long as you have hope and a will to fight, they can't kill you.
Yeah.
But if they suck away and put you in a despair, then they got you.
And despair is just fear. You know, that's all it is. You know?
Yeah, fear and hopelessness.
Yeah.
Of like, you have no hope that it's going to get better or change.
Yeah.
And that is why Simone was because he had such a huge amount of willpower and all that. And you can't, what's his name? Kimonal?
Which one?
The key dude. The main character.
Oh, Kamina.
Kamina. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name.
I do that too. It's like, I literally just
Like,
said
I
this
was
person's
saying his name so many times. Just,
yeah. Why all of a sudden?
that's why I can't think of his Yonko or Yoko or like. Why can't I think of her name?
And watch her name be something completely different, and we both just wrong.
People listen to us like, it's this, yeah. Why you keep saying it wrong?
Look,
Like,
me and James are not precise when it comes to anime,
and I don't really care to look it up.
No, so,
Because it's a Japanese name, and I'm pretty sure they said it wrong in the English dub.
Probably.
Anyways,
probably, you know they did.
but Kamina, he saw that willpower in
Yes.
Simone the entire time.
Yes.
And everybody was like, oh, it's Kamina. He was like, no, Simone's the one that's keep pushing me forward.
Yeah.
He's why I'm like this. Because I can be this reckless because I know he got me.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just like, that's wild.
And I love that, like, such a strong key feature through the whole show is just adaptation. That's how they keep moving forward.
Yep.
Because they keep adapting to whatever situation they're in.
It is, yep.
And I'm just like, that is, and it's, as I'm like growing older, to like my situation and stuff, like the situation I'm in now, living at my in-laws and stuff, it's been so hard for me to adapt. And it's like, I haven't fully, I feel it in myself. I haven't really come to peace with where I'm at in life. I really do feel that, like, hindering me. And I know it's all internal. I know it's my mental. I know it's my mindset. And so that's why I like Gurren Lagann, because it's like they're going through something uncomfortable. Like, I imagine at the beginning of the show when Simone and Ollie are living underground, they're in pitch blackness literally their whole lives for hundreds of years. They don't know anything else.
Yeah.
They don't know that there's an outside world. So for an opportunity to finally go to the surface, that's the most terrifying thing.
Exactly.
That's so scary.
Unknown.
That is literally the unknown.
Yeah.
That they're walking into. Kamina is like, yeah, we got this. Simone is like, we're about to die. Like, I have no clue what we're stepping into. But I trust you, Kamina. I trust you. And so that's what I like about it. And that's why I like his Lagann being adaptable.
Yeah.
And you can see Simone adapting to every situation. Kamina adapting to every situation. Till they finally get to the Spiral King and they behead the dude. Like, they end up defeating them. And I'm like, man, that's what's inspirational to me. Yeah.
That was the Kingdom Principles, though. Did you see anything?
No, that was pretty much spot on. I don't think I have anything else to add to that.
One point I wanted to is how the anti-spiral was so afraid of the potential that they had.
Yeah.
Because they were spiral beings too, that they cut themselves off and
Yeah.
shelter themselves, and so many of us do that. They will not even reach into the potential that they have that was shown at like an early age or something. Because whatever happened, it was something that caused. They might think it caused harm or whatever.
Yeah.
Caused unwanted attention, maybe even.
Yeah.
And so they're just like, I can't do that no more.
Yeah.
And like, dang, like, nope. That person just was evil. You have to continue to do what you got to do.
The unwanted attention thing, I fight so much to I just don't want no attention. I don't want nobody just like when I come in, even when I go home, I'm like, anybody down here? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and sneak downstairs and just don't want no attention from nobody. But that this whole kind of conversation reminds me of that one poem. I just know there's one line that says, I'll paraphrase. You kind of think, who am I to be great, or this, or like powerful, or
from
like
Aquila
strong.
and the Bee. That's what I remember.
Yeah,
I believe he was Marcus Garvey. He said that
maybe. Yeah,
he might have said that. Yeah.
And the line is like, well, who are you not to be? And it's not like you should like, who are you to shy away and like to shrink? Like, who are you to like, the world needs your abilities. The world needs you. Like we really literally need you. Like we can't have you shrinking off into the distance. Like we need you to like do your thing. And so like going back to Kamina and like what you're saying, Joseph, and like especially Joseph. Like, if he had decided okay, I'm a slave. Like who am I to like be over all of these dudes' slaves? Like who am I to be over his house and his property? Like who am I? Like I'm just a little shepherd boy or whatever.
I'm just a little boy who was thrown away by my family because I told them my dream and they shut it down.
Yeah.
And hated me for it.
Yeah. So like, how can I even? Obviously, who I am is not valued in the world. Like obviously, and that's why I love that poem. It's like no. We do need you. Yes. Keep going. Keep going.
And so when we are shrinking back from our gifts and all that, the world is like, no, please don't. We need you. Like we're dying without you.
Yeah.
Like whatever that ideal is, whatever that goal, dream, whatever, we need it. You have to release it.
Yeah.
The other thing, when Kamina and Simone, they were the only ones who were bold enough to go to the surface. And because of that one decision of them going and fighting back, their fight was able to, set free all of humanity.
Right.
Just those two people.
Right.
And it released other people to walk into their purpose and release their potential.
Yeah.
Because it was Leron.
I was literally just thinking about it as you were saying that.
Yes, he had a whole monologue. He was like, just to think that I was just some small person in a small village working on their weaponry. I was just in charge of their weaponry. And now I can fix this behemoth, this machine. He's like, I fight myself sometimes. He's like, is this the power? Is this the force of power? And I was just like, yo, like, because without him running into those two crazy people, he would have never been able to release that.
No.
And walk into his destiny.
Yeah.
And so, like, and there was even a moment in there where Simone was persecuted because he walked into his destiny, even though he already set free them and had built an entire city, civilization, and all that. And then once they saw the consequences of that, the people who wants to hold humanity back, the anti-spirals, they was ready to kill the man.
Yeah.
Because they was like, because of your fight, you did this to us. But I was like, but y'all were just living it up and benefiting from what he did. Is that the decision they making? Okay. Yeah, but let me just fight for real, though, if it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
It just won't appease. And when he saw that wouldn't, he was like, I'm right back here. I'm not throwing away y'all and leaving to let y'all die on your own because y'all wanted to kill me.
Yeah.
He stayed true.
Yeah. That's what I like. Just true to himself to the very end. No matter what.
Yep.
Yeah.
It didn't matter that the public was loving him one day and then the next day they was calling him Supreme Commander, and then all of a sudden they want him died.
Yeah.
Because Simone, when he was getting persecuted, he could have been like, Oh, y'all bet. I'm getting a Goran log on, killing, not murking all y'all. I'm just, bye. Can't catch me.
Yeah.
You faced that straight on. I was like, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't even think, even if they would have put the girl in the bomb, he would have ran anyways.
Yeah.
Actually, he probably would have because he had to go find Nia. That's her name, Nina or Nia. One of those two.
It might be Nia.
Yeah, Nia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it would come. Yep. So he might have ran, but as soon as he found Nia, he'd been back though.
Yeah.
Took the responsibility. Hey, but that's your family right there.
Yeah.
Woman.
I guess I was gonna ask what show should we pick up next to talk about?
Oh, show pick up next. There's another one I had just watched recently. Just saw it on Crunchyroll, and I was like, "Oh, this looks interesting." And it's almost like a horror theme type
Okay.
one. Very interesting.
Do you remember the name at all?
It's called Another.
Yeah, I don't think I've come across that yet.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I watched it in one day.
What is it?
12 episodes.
12. Okay.
You should watch that. Check it out. So basically, it's about a guy who transfers schools, and in this school, the class 3. So in the third year of middle school, that class 3 is cursed basically, because every year, so there's a death that happened 20-something years ago, like 26 years ago. Never since that, strange things would happen where multiple people die.
Whoa, dang.
Every year. And so this new student comes in, he's unaware of what's happening. And there are certain things that has to be followed. And so it's pretty good. Since he's ignorant of the rules, you already know what happens.
But I'm like, obviously, there's something to the story. So I'm like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was just like,
Okay. I like that. I'm gonna check it out. I might watch the first episode tonight.
because you got Crunchyroll, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I believe it's in English, but I watched it in sub.
Okay.
But it's in English too. There's another one I had just recently watched too. I told you about it when we were talking. That one that's Tomo-chan as a girl.
Yeah, you were telling me about that, but for some reason I can't remember what you said about it.
He is just basically this tomboy who likes her
Oh, that's
friend. Yeah,
That's
they
right.
Grew up with, and she confessed on the very first day of their high school, like freshman year, and he was like, "I love you too, bro." And she's just like, and she was like, in that moment, I realized he doesn't view me as a girl.
Dang.
And then from that point on, the whole school year, she's getting help from her one and only friend that's a girl. They all grew up together, and so she's trying to get him to recognize her as a girl.
Yeah.
Because since they grew up together, they always fight, and they both learn karate. So